Hey guys, what's going on? It is May 11th, 2021, and the market is driving you crazy today because initially after a huge drop, which we predicted on Friday to all our alert members we've sent out, the market is about to collapse, and it sure did yesterday on Monday, May the 10th, and today, May the 11th. But now you're sitting here looking at your screen, you're like, damn, whoa, it looks bullish, it's bouncing like crazy. Let me bring some perspective here of why things are indeed represent some of the best short selling opportunities, especially if you're trading weekly options. So I'm going to break down some different time frame charts to help you visualize exactly what's going on in the market and where opportunity really lies ahead if you're trying to place trades this week and going into next week. So S&P 500 is currently down 40 points. That by itself cannot be bullish, but if you've been tracking the market since about 10 o'clock today, 41.03 was the low set for the day. Now at like 41.44, and you're sitting there like, oh my God, things are just, man, it's bouncing. I better get out of I may want to buy some calls here. So if you're freaking out, if you're a bear, maybe you bought some puts yesterday and you've done really well, and this morning and this afternoon, you're sitting there watching your profits just disappear because the market keeps bouncing. Let me show you a couple of things here. So this is a 1 day, 1 minute chart. And since, you know, most of the time we'll place trades, not necessarily for day trades here at Thursday Market Moves, but to capture a bigger move in the market, you got to have a slightly longer time frame than simple 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So don't focus on scalping, but focus on the overall move that's developing on the market if you want to get paid as a day trader. Meaning, you know, if you initiate the position today, don't necessarily expect to get out of it today. Expect to get out of it tomorrow or in the next few days in this highly volatile market. That's going to make you a lot more money. So with that said, let's take a look at slightly different time frame here on a 2 day, 2 minute chart. Now, do things look bullish to you now? I mean, we're officially down from this level of like 41.30. Well, we nailed that top, guys. 42.30 was the message we sent out on Friday. We said short to top right here. And so now we're substantially lower, but nowhere as low as we could have dropped. So the idea is to demonstrate a few simple techniques for you guys that you can utilize, and to help you visualize them a little bit, I'm going to show you different versions of bounces that should be shorted. Bounce is a representation of when something is already in a downtrend and temporarily it moves higher. Focus on the overall move in the market. In the overall move in the market right now, guys, based on this 2 day, 2 minute time frame chart, it is a bear. It's a bear move, and in a bear trend, you want to short the bounces. So, for example, market drops here. It looks like it's bouncing, right? Well, this is the bounce you should be shorting. The market drops. It looks like it's bouncing, and what happens next? It drops. So if you take a look and examine this part right here, this is exactly what we're going through right here. We dropped, and now we're bouncing. What should you be doing? You should be shorting the bounce, meaning when the market moves higher, or the underlying stock that you're trading that could be possibly correlated to this index is moving higher, you should be initiating your short positions. When the market moves higher, it allows you the opportunity to buy your put positions. And most of the traders, they do exactly the opposite. They buy the put positions high. So when the stuff is dropping right here, and you're like, well, clearly stuff is dropping, that's where a typical trader is likely to initiate the position. So focus on the bounces. So we're in the downtrend. We're down 42 points for the day. Okay, we're as much as 80 points down for the day. It's healthy for a market to make a bounce before resuming a move lower. So if you examine any bounce on this chart, bounce, what follows next? Drop, bounce, drop, bounce, drop, bounce right out of the gate this morning, right? What happens? Drop, bounce, bounce. And at some point in the next 8 to 12 hours here, we're going to retest that level of 41.03. And then it's just a matter of fact what happens there. Are we just going to bounce and make a smaller bounce and ultimately break below that? It looks like the higher we close for the day, the higher the probability of that is going to be that we're going to have some strong downside moves like we've had earlier here, like we've had over here, like we've had over here, and so on. So just focus on a simple strategy of shorting the bounces, guys, and you will do exceptionally well in this market environment. Now, to help you visualize things a little bit better, let's focus on this 5-day, 15-minute chart. Okay, so it's reasonable to expect a bounce here. Why? Well, we're sort of hitting the level here that the market's been playing around with, 41.20, 41.40. Okay, we've traveled here a couple of times in not so distant memory, and now we're back here. So as you can see, last couple of times we've been able to bounce out of that and move higher, like from here higher, right? But as you can see, we had a substantial increase in volume to the downside, and so this bounce now is going to be the resistance. So you want to short this level. You want to short this level, 41.50, 41.60, super attractive. We'll get to that point, guys. It's an excellent entry on doing what? On shorting the bounce, meaning buying puts. Now, let's take a look at a few other charts. And let's just finish looking at this one real quick. So overall, as you can see, the market makes this huge, grand move 11, as we describe it in our 13 markets move formula. Oftentimes, that coincides with a lot of top informations when you have move 11 right here, and another one, and another one, and the bigger one right here. It typically is a predecessor for much greater drops in the market, and clearly, that's just the S&P 500. But if we're to look at Nasdaq, right? I mean, the situation is much worse. So it really pays to short the bounces, right? So here's your bounce, drop, bounce, bigger drop, bounce, way bigger drop. Okay, and so the bounces right here are great entry opportunities. So again, if you want to make money as a short seller, don't just focus on what appears to be such a bullish momentum from this morning, right? I mean, this looks super bullish if you're just focusing on the 1-day, 1-minute chart. But look at things in perspective of longer time frame chart if you're trying to capitalize on a bigger size move, which you should if you're making, if your goal is to make more than 500 or 1,000 or a couple $1,000s on a trade, you should be focusing on a bigger move. And despite of all this bullishness, where are we on Nasdaq? After a substantial drop in the last few days, we're still down for the day. Now that can't be bullish. So what we're noticing is very interesting trade to help you understand. Maybe you're a bull, you're trying to understand how to short the market. I'm going to show you something very, very simple from a couple of other charts. So let me dive in here on some charts, on stock charts. The first chart we're going to look at is Amazon. And so you will notice that Amazon is down huge. Maybe you missed out on some of the videos where suggested shorting it right here, right after the earnings, shorting it the following day after the earnings, cashing out on this big drop. But as you can see, there is a bounce right here. And so when you're looking at your 1-day, 1-minute chart that I just shown you, such as the case on Nasdaq and S&P 500, on your 1-day, 1-minute chart, it's going to look like this, as what I've shown you. But on the daily chart, is going to look like this. So see this bounce that you're witnessing right now in the market, in the indexes of some individual stocks. That's what it is. It's just this temporary move that is in the opposite direction of where the overall trend is going. And so when you have an opportunity like this where overall things are dropping and all of a sudden they're bouncing, trying to find some support, these are your entry opportunities, guys. Okay, this is not the time to get scared and jump out. So the similar conditions as you can see today, right? Amazon is up $32. Is that good or bad? Well, it's horrible, considering the fact that Amazon is down from announcing earnings, the night of earnings at 36.61. It's down today. At the lowest pre-market, it was down to 31.37. Guys, that's a $500 move, literally in a matter of 7 to 10 days here. The fact that Amazon is only up $32 today That's not bullish. It should be up 100 points. Should be up a couple hundred points. I mean, it just dropped fucking 500 points. How can a $32 move higher be considered bullish in this context? And yet, a lot of traders that are new to shorting stocks, they cannot survive this smaller size bounces in the markets. And understand that bounces is something that you hunt for. Bounces is something desirable. Bounces is something that you live for as a short seller. Bounces is what you look at in an overall downtrend that is clear when you try to get out of your 1 day, 1 minute chart, and when you're trying to take at a longer time frame chart to really get clarity overall. Where are really things moving? And to make the case really simple, when you combine stuff like this, where things are already in a solid downtrend, okay, when you combine it with the over excessive bullishness in the markets overall, like, look, this is how you know, just when you thought things could not get any more fucked up than the stock market, right? You have a headline like this. They're putting a statue of Dogecoin in front of the bull. I mean, this is how you know this is the very fucking top of the market in 2021. You cannot be ignoring this. I mean, this is absolutely freaking crazy. I mean, the statue of Dogecoin is one thing, but Jesus, I mean, look at this shit right here. Tesla to accept Dogecoin. I mean, are you for real? Like, I don't think that's something to be smiling about. Really, you just devalued your company by billions of dollars by proposing some stupid shit like this. No wonder Tesla stock is down again. Okay, Elon Musk is a great dude, but listen, he does some really stupid shit sometimes. Okay, there's many instances when he's hurt his share price of Tesla substantially, and this is one of these instances. I mean, this is the top. I mean, when you see shit like this is the reason to short Tesla stock, not to be a bull. You know, when it's hitting the 600 level today. By the way, let's take a closer look at Tesla chart and see what's going on. So, I mean, the signs are there. I mean, this market is going insane, and as a short seller, as a trader, okay, even if you're a bull, I mean, it's time to recognize some of these clear signs the market is giving you and make sure you trade in this market on the right side. And then things are becoming very clear. I mean, why would you want to be a bull on Tesla right here? I've shared with these lines with you guys before multiple times. It helps you nail some of the greatest entries in some of these stocks. And I'm using a 13-day for the blue line, and I'm using a 55-day for the orange. And so when these things about to cross, okay, the stock will drop substantially lower. So look at this last cross right here. When blue line crosses the orange on the way lower, what happens? After that point, the stock drops from 700 to where? To 550. Okay, well, I mean, if you take a measurement here, I mean, that's a $150 drop. Okay, we're just intersecting right here. So take 682. Less $150, guys. I mean, this thing is gonna go to the low 500s. I mean, you're looking at easily Tesla touching 500 in the next few days. So this is your entry opportunity. On one end, it looks like, hold on, but we've got this huge support right here. But another thing to look at is Tesla's been officially in such a bearish downtrend that it will break this level. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's at 619, 618.97 at the time I'm recording this video at 3 p.m. on May 11th. And I wouldn't be shocked if Tesla dropped all the way to $500 by Friday. So this is not the time to be buying this movement in Tesla. At this point, there's going to be more people getting out of it. There's so many catalysts for Tesla besides the technicals at this point. I mean, we've nailed the drop in Tesla right here. That's when we told you to short it. Hedge funds like Kathy Wood, they're going to have to unload the shit out of it because she's been buying it on every dip. Once this level is broken, I mean, they have no choice but to unload Tesla. And so this is a beautiful trade. The options, to my surprise, they're still not overpriced. So anybody can come in and take, over the next 3 days to 12 days, have substantial traction with Tesla, 3x, 5x, possibly 10x trades depending on your strikes and expirations. And by the way, guys, if you're not sure what strikes and expirations to get, make sure you click the link below, schedule a 20-minute coaching call with a senior trader here at 13 Market Moves. Get these questions answered, because selecting the right strike price opposed to not selecting the right strike price could be a difference of you making money, making a ton of money like an 8x trade or 7x trade, or compared to you making maybe just 50% or 100% of the trade. You've got to know these details, the trade structure, in order to be able to put trades like we show you here on our channel at 13 Market Moves. Now, Tesla basically is a dog, and it ain't no dodgy coin, okay? I mean, it's exactly the opposite. And of course, dodgy coin will come to an end at some point. I mean, this is a market euphoria at its best. Nobody wants to admit it or recognize it yet. But they always do once shit corrects and drops. And when dodgy is back to 10 cents, everybody's going to be looking back and saying, oh my God, how did we not see that shit? Well, after Tesla drop right here, okay, there's still Tesla bulls that are saying, well, yeah, but it's going to bounce. And they said it here, and they said it here, and they're still waiting for the stock to bounce back to 900. Well, that shit ain't happening, okay? And so while all these people are in self-denial, okay, we've been telling you exactly move by move of where this thing is going. And right now, guys, I'm telling you, again, that this is not the time to be a bull on Tesla. This is the time to short the hell out of it. And if you want to put on this trade with the right strikes and expirations, make sure you give us a call. And just click the link below or visit 13marketmoves.com. Moving to the next chart, because there's some really interesting charts. While they put in the statue of Dogecoin, what you should be really paying close attention is where the world markets are heading. And the world markets, guys, officially staging some of the biggest drops. I mean, is this a mistake, Leo? What the hell is this? Are you serious? Because I was too busy, Leo, I was too busy reading the fucking Dogecoin headlines. I didn't know that the stock market in Japan just collapsed 900 points. I guess I was looking at the wrong fucking thing. You damn right you were looking at the wrong thing. Guys, this is simple. This chart of Tokyo Stock Exchange has been in a solid downtrend, and after making this recent death cross, it just staged the biggest drop it has had. I mean, this drop is so big that it actually matching some of the drops that Tokyo Stock Exchange had last year when the market were collapsing due to the coronavirus. And it coincides with Dogecoin statue being put right next in front of the bull. So this is a top in the market, guys. Ultimately, all the markets are connected, and this fact is not going to be ignored. Based off this chart, once this level in Tokyo is going to be broken, this 28,608 level, and it will be broken in the next 48 hours, we're going to see a much stronger move to the downside. Trust me, the markets in the United States, they will respond. And at this point, it's not just going to be a Nasdaq. It's going to be S&P to a much greater magnitude. It's going to be Russell. It's going to be every index here is going to break many technical levels, which at this point, if we're to take a look at what's going on at some other places, okay, the world is not looking so attractive. If we look at, let's say, Germany, okay, this bounce is happening on such a low volume, proceeding to a sell-off. This is about to reverse, guys. This is about to reverse in Germany. Germany is about to tank this way, okay? What we've got going on in some other places is not looking good. Basically, you have strong sell-off volumes everywhere, and you've got bounces that are happening on very, very low volumes. So that's a bear. That's not a bull. If you take a look at HSI, for example, let's take a look here. So that's Hong Kong. Hong Kong cannot get any traction whatsoever, okay? And it's down just a little bit. today, but it's not going to stop this powerful head and shoulder pattern to the downside here. So after the cross right here, this bear cross, we're not had a substantial drop yet, but we're fixing to get it here in Hong Kong. So it doesn't matter, guys. You can look at a bunch of other charts. You can analyze a bunch of other worldwide markets. None of them look strong, and essentially it's going to play a highly negative impact here in the United States. So let's take a look at the S&P overall chart right here. And so we're officially under the blue line, which, you know, in many other instances, we can expect to actually dip below the orange line. I pointed out in the last few videos that there was a probability that we were going to actually drop similar fashion to some prior instances. And we're to just measure this, one of the most recent instances, we could just easily not just touch, but break below the orange line here. And at this point, we're going to be looking more like a level of 39.50, potentially 3,800 in not so distant future. I'm talking about 3 to 10 days from now. So remember, what do you do on a day like today? You short the hell out of the market when it bounces, not when it drops, not when you're sitting in front of your screen in the morning and everything is just falling apart. That is not the time to get in if you're trying to make money on puts. You want to wait for the bounce. The bounce, just like the bounce that's happening right now, that's where you want to get in. So the chart of S&P is just beginning to break down. And notably, every volume here on the sell side, it is exceeding the buy volume. And so we're seeing the similar features in the market as we're seeing in worldwide markets, and that is not bullish. There's a lot of bearish things going on here. Now, let's take a quick look at Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is a situation where we got this death hook going on. We've talked about this in some recent videos. Basically, this is not a bull. This is a bear right here, guys. See this distance? It's a death hook. That's a pre-existing condition to when things are about to do this. So see, it would be the same situation as it was right here, right? When we were going into what? When we're going ultimately into this formation right here. So you see this death hook, if you were to measure the size of the drop from this point to this point, it is sizable, okay? That was about 1,200 points. So basically from 13.6 to 12.4. We're officially in this situation right here. We can measure from 13.8. We can easily drop to 12.6. So still about 800 points worth of room here. So this is not the time to start buying the dip. And I promise you, I'll post the video when it's time to start buying the dip. Right now, guys, all you want to do is focus on shorting the bounces. Now, it's interesting fact. There's a few stocks, because the opening trade is such a great trade, right? So a lot of people have been focusing on gaming stocks such as Penn National Gaming, for example, and everybody's, of course, been so bullish. So every time the stock dropped, what did they recommend you buy? I mean, I don't think there's anybody that actually has a sell rating on this damn thing. And every time it drops, they tell you buy. And then it drops again, they tell you to buy more. And then they tell you to buy more on the dip. And then they tell you to buy more on the dip. Guys, we've been bear on this thing since this point right here. Okay, we've been paying members to actually short the hell out of this thing. Now, some other stocks, however, represent some tremendous opportunities because they have not dropped by as much as 50%. I mean, you're talking about Penn National Gaming. Okay, it is the greatest reopening trades. Everybody has a buy rating on it. Everybody keeps adding on it. And as a result, how the fuck is this possible? The stock has crashed 50% and nobody's talking about it. It hit a low of 75 today, guys. But there's one stock I'm going to reveal to you right now that has not done so yet, which is in the same sector as Penn National Gaming, which still represents a potential drop that began from this point of 105 when we went short on Penn up to this point of 75. Guys, that's a 20% drop. The stock that can actually do it is Wynn Resorts. It announced earnings, and at this point, people are uncertain exactly what they should do with it. This is a great entry because it is in a situation of a death hook right here. As you can see, it's got a death hook already created, but the price action has not caught up to this bearish sign right here. So we're likely to see some strong volume to the downside. As you can see, if you examine the volume, all these candles, all these red candles, they're substantially higher than any gray candles, which represent the positive volume or the accumulation volume. This often means that a lot of people are actually accumulating a short position. Notably, after the earnings report, a lot of analysts have slightly raised their bar on Wynn Resort target price. We had some analysts that raised the bar from 107 to 125, from 110 to 130, from, I think the highest target price at this point is 140 bucks, which means basically they don't think it can break this level. But what they're not talking about is the fact that they're probably using this last tool in the box to really accumulate as many shares of Wynn Resort as possible before they actually are going to allow a substantial drop. So we're on the verge of about a 10-20% move lower in the shares of Wynn Resorts. The earnings report was shit. Now, the last earnings report was shit as well, but it didn't stop the stock from moving higher. All right. At this time, we're seeing a reversal. As a matter of fact, this trend right here, if you combine the dots, it's a solid downtrend. So when this stock bounces, what do? This video is about shorting the bounce, guys. When this stock bounces, you short it, especially when it coincides with a key level right here on the orange line. The stock bounced to 129 this morning. This was the last official ad we suggested to our alert members. We said add Wynn puts right here. So since then, the stock down $4, and we think it's got a ton of room to go. Over the course of the next 3 to 10 days, we can see the stock substantially lower. Now, another stock that has made a lot of headlines, which we think represents one of the greatest shorting opportunities right now, is Coin. Now, there is one analyst that came out today and said that he's raising his target price on Coin to $454 or $434, somewhere around here, basically. So he thinks the stock is going to go from here to here. As a catalyst, he's utilizing Coin earnings report, which is going to be released this Thursday. Now, we don't think, or we don't agree with that particular analyst at 13 Market Moves by no shape or form for multiple reasons. I'm just going to outline a few. We want to utilize the strategy of shorting the bounce on Coin. Remember, we suggested shorting Coin when we've posted a video on Coin when it was, well, we shorted it right here with our paying members. We've actually posted a video when Coin was right here. Right around here, we posted the video on it when it was just under 300 bucks, maybe 290, and then we recommended buying like 1 month expiration Coin puts. So since then, it actually hit a level of 250. So if you stayed with the trade, you did make a bunch of money. Now at that point, what's happening right now in the stock? What is it? It's a bounce. It's a bounce, and it's a beautiful bounce because the stock is getting back to this level where it really is hesitant to move above this 300, 310 level, guys. This is an area in the stock that struggled. It sold off on huge volume. Their bet is the fact that Coin is going to have incredible earnings, and it's going to be a huge surprise. Well, I think the surprise is already baked in. It doesn't matter how great earnings are. I mean, none of the big tech companies been able to surprise anybody with their earnings. All big 5 names have collapsed after earnings reports. So we don't believe this case with Coin is going to be any different. However, today's bounce could be a great shorting opportunity because in the last 2 days going into the earnings report, we think the stock can actually sell off closer to these levels of 270, 260 going into the earnings report, and after the earnings report released, could maybe see an after-hour bounce, kind of like we've seen in Amazon, right? Which followed by what? It followed by a huge move lower. So Coin shares, despite of this bullish momentum today, they are still rather bearish and represent a huge shorting opportunity. So short the bounce in Coin, guys. It's very, very easy. I mean, if you're a bull, it's very difficult for you to do. But it's very easy if you understand the 13 market moves, guys. So a couple of trades, a couple of stuff that we're watching with the markets, guys. As the world literally collapsing, the stock markets around the world really beginning the great collapse. The markets here in the United States are still somewhat unshaken. And any bounce right now represents a tremendous shorting opportunity, guys. If you'd like to learn more about charts, if you'd like to learn more about 13 Markets Move Formula, if you'd like to learn how you can absolutely kill it trading weekly options over the course of the next 10 days, make sure you take action right now. Click the link below. Guys, there's so much I'd like to discuss in these videos, but I only have so little time. And so if you'd like more information, make sure you click the link below and schedule that 20-minute coaching call. Talk to a senior trader. Get ready for success. Trading the markets tomorrow. Let's rock. I'll catch you on the next video soon. Don't forget to short the bounces. Focus on shorting the bounces. Let's roll.